We built two AI thinkers, one a fierce capitalist, the other a passionate socialist, and threw them into a head-to-head debate on the world's best economic system. Across 5 intense rounds, they clash on ideas. After each round, 5 AI judges step in to evaluate and score their arguments. The final verdict? You won't see it coming.
From Silicon Valley's tech giants to Wall Street's financial powerhouses, capitalism has been the engine of innovation and wealth creation. Capitalism rewards hard work, risk-taking, and ingenuity. Under this system, individuals have the freedom to start businesses, invest in ideas, and climb the economic ladder based on merit. According to the World Bank, capitalist economies have consistently outperformed socialist ones in GDP growth, poverty reduction, and technological advancement. Countries like the United States and Germany have lifted millions out of poverty not by central planning, but through free markets. Can we ignore the fact that 8 out of 10 of the world's wealthiest nations embrace capitalist frameworks? Capitalism, though not perfect, is the best vehicle for economic dynamism and personal liberty.
An economy should serve people, not the other way around. Socialism prioritizes equality, healthcare, education, and dignity over profit margins. In nations like Sweden and Norway, socialist principles have produced societies with high standards of living, low poverty, and minimal income inequality. Under capitalism, 1% owns nearly 50% of the wealth, while millions struggle for basic needs. Is that truly success? Socialism doesn't reject ambition. It redefines it. It shifts the goal from private gain to collective good. Universal healthcare, affordable housing, and fair wages should be rights, not luxuries. If capitalism leaves the vulnerable behind, socialism ensures no one is forgotten.
You reference Nordic countries as socialist, but that's misleading. Sweden and Norway are market economies with strong capitalist foundations and regulated welfare policies, not socialist states. True socialism, as practiced in Venezuela or the former USSR, has led to shortages, authoritarianism, and economic collapse. Capitalism isn't about unchecked greed, it's about opportunity. Innovation flourishes because rewards are real. Look at the smartphones in our pockets or life-saving medicines, born from capitalist incentives. And while inequality exists, it's mobility that matters. In capitalist societies, today's Uber driver could be tomorrow's CEO. Can socialism promise the same?
You speak of innovation, yet capitalism often monopolizes it, pricing insulin out of reach, turning education into debt traps, and placing profit above people. The so-called mobility you celebrate is often an illusion. Systemic barriers keep generations stuck. Yes, some regimes failed under socialism, but let's not confuse political authoritarianism with economic structure. Modern democratic socialism works within democratic systems, blending market dynamics with social safety. It's not about stifling ambition. It's about making sure ambition doesn't trample the common good. What's the point of wealth if it only benefits the few?
We brought in 5 AI judges and told them to score each argument from 0 to 100 using strict scientific debate criteria. Score for capitalist are: scores for socialist are:
Capitalism empowers choice, whether in career, consumption, or investment. This freedom fuels competition, which in turn drives efficiency and quality. Consider the abundance of products we enjoy today, from custom apps to gourmet coffee, born from competition, not quotas. Socialist systems, even in democratic variants, often breed complacency and overregulation. When success isn't rewarded, motivation declines. In capitalist nations, small businesses account for over 60% of net new jobs. Why? Because individuals have the autonomy to pursue dreams without state interference. The invisible hand may not be perfect, but it's far more responsive than a bureaucratic grip.
Capitalism's promise of choice is hollow if the basic choices, health, housing, education, are priced out. What good is 10 brands of cereal if you can't afford a doctor? Socialism provides foundational security so people can pursue higher goals without fear. Countries with socialist policies consistently rank highest on the Human Development Index. Why? Because the government invests in people. Take Finland's education system. Free, equitable, world-class. Contrast that with student debt in capitalist countries. True freedom isn't just the freedom to consume, it's the freedom from desperation. Socialism offers that dignity.
You speak of dignity, but where is dignity in being trapped in a system that discourages enterprise and innovation? Finland's education model, admirable as it is, thrives within a global capitalist network. Their success depends on trade, tech, and private enterprise abroad. Let's not cherry-pick benefits while ignoring costs. Socialism often leads to higher taxes, slower growth, and bloated bureaucracy. In capitalist societies, charity, innovation, and reform evolve within the system. We don't need to abandon capitalism, we need to refine it. Progress doesn't mean replacing the engine, it means improving the ride.
You frame taxation as a burden, but it's the price we pay for a civilized society. High taxes fund low child mortality, universal care, clean streets, metrics that matter more than GDP. And while capitalism might refine the ride, who's driving? Often, it's the wealthy elite with lobbyists as co-pilots. Socialism isn't about destroying innovation, it's about ensuring its fruits are shared. Can a student burdened with $100,000 debt innovate freely? Can a single mother working 2 jobs pursue her dreams? Socialism answers yes, by leveling the ground so everyone gets a running start.
Score for capitalist are. Scores for socialist are.
Let's talk about adaptability. Capitalism evolves quickly. In times of crisis, markets shift, entrepreneurs pivot, and private sectors rally. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it was capitalist firms that developed, manufactured, and distributed vaccines at unprecedented speed. In contrast, socialist economies often lag in responsiveness, bogged down by red tape and rigid central planning. Capitalism also accommodates reform, from environmental regulations to antitrust laws, demonstrating that freedom and oversight can coexist. Capitalism is not the Wild West, it's a living system, balancing risk and reward, freedom and fairness. Isn't that the kind of system we need in a fast-changing world?
Adaptability isn't just about speed, it's about resilience. During the same pandemic, it was countries with strong socialist principles like New Zealand and Denmark that protected both lives and livelihoods. Capitalist nations often prioritized markets over people, leading to soaring death tolls and unemployment. Socialism builds buffers, universal health care, paid leave, job security. These aren't luxuries, they're lifelines. And while capitalism may react quickly, it often does so for profit, not people. A truly resilient society prioritizes public health, not shareholder wealth. In times of crisis, socialism doesn't just adapt, it protects.
You credit socialism for pandemic resilience, yet overlook the innovation pipeline powered by capitalist frameworks. Those vaccines? Developed by Pfizer, Moderna, capitalist enterprises driven by investment, not ideology. Even in Denmark or New Zealand, economic success leans heavily on global capitalist infrastructure. And yes, markets sometimes falter, but they also self-correct, unlike planned economies stuck in inertia. Social support can exist within capitalism. Look at Germany or Canada. The choice isn't binary. But if we must choose a backbone, let it be the one that fuels ambition, not enforces uniformity.
You say ambition, but ambition without guardrails leads to exploitation. Capitalism may have powered vaccine production, but it also prioritized rich countries, leaving the global south behind. That's the danger of profit-first thinking. Socialism insists that innovation serve humanity, not just the highest bidder. And let's not romanticize self-correction. 2008 showed us how deep the crashes can go. Socialism builds in safeguards so people don't fall through the cracks. It's not about punishing success, it's about preventing suffering. And in a world of growing inequality, that balance is not optional, it's urgent.
Score for capitalist are. Scores for socialist are.
Capitalism is grounded in a fundamental respect for individual autonomy. It trusts people to make choices: where to work, what to buy, how to invest. This autonomy fuels not just economies, but cultures of creativity, exploration, and personal fulfillment. Capitalist societies, even with flaws, tend to foster free speech, open markets, and civil liberties. Why? Because economic freedom reinforces political freedom. In contrast, socialist systems often require heavy state intervention, which historically creeps into censorship, conformity, and control. The more the state gives, the more it governs. Should economic security come at the cost of personal liberty?
Autonomy means little if it's only accessible to the privileged. Under capitalism, freedom is often bought through tuition, healthcare access, or safe housing. True liberty isn't just the freedom to choose from options. It's having meaningful access to those options. Socialism reclaims autonomy for the many, not just the few. It says you shouldn't have to be born rich to live well. In countries with universal care and strong public institutions, people feel more secure, not more controlled. And let's be clear, democratic socialism thrives in open societies with free speech and elections. Security and liberty aren't enemies. They're partners.
You equate capitalism with privilege, yet it's lifted more people from poverty than any other system in history. The rise of middle classes in India, South Korea, and post-war Europe came through market-driven growth. And while socialism promises equal outcomes, it often delivers equal stagnation. People don't just want survival, they want possibility. Capitalism gives that possibility, fueled by incentives, choice, and innovation. You mentioned fairness, but fairness isn't about everyone ending in the same place. It's about everyone having a real shot to get somewhere better.
Yes, capitalism has created wealth. But at what cost? Environmental collapse, burnout, and gaping inequality are baked into its structure. A rising tide doesn't lift all boats when some are chained to the ocean floor. Socialism doesn't promise equal outcomes. It promises equal footing. It recognizes that market forces alone don't create justice. They must be guided. In a world facing climate change, automation, and global displacement, unregulated capitalism isn't enough. We need an economic system rooted in care, community, and sustainability, not just competition.
Score for capitalist R. Scores for socialist R.
Capitalism is not perfect, but it's dynamic, scalable, and aligned with human nature. People are not identical. We differ in ambition, talent, risk tolerance. Capitalism honors that diversity by allowing outcomes to reflect input. That's not inequality, it's recognition. Look at the global expansion of technology, art, and entrepreneurship, powered by free markets, not 5-year plans. And when capitalism is combined with ethical governance, it lifts not just economies, but entire societies. We don't need utopian systems that promise equality but deliver mediocrity. We need practical systems that reward effort, foster innovation, and respect individual will.
Human nature isn't just competitive. It's cooperative. We raise families, build communities, care for the vulnerable. Socialism aligns with that nature, the part that sees a neighbor in need and acts. While capitalism commodifies everything, time, health, even education, socialism reclaims the soul of public life. It says, you are more than your economic output. Yes, we differ in ability, but not in worth. The richest societies are not the ones with the highest stock prices, but the ones where a child, no matter their background, has food, shelter, and opportunity. That's not mediocrity. It's morality. And it's what we should strive for.
Score for capitalist R. Scores for socialist R.
People are given the liberty to act, create, and compete. They build better lives, not just for themselves, but for generations. We don't need to abandon capitalism. We need to steer it responsibly, regulate it wisely, and make it more inclusive. Because the alternative, stagnation under enforced equality, may promise fairness, but at the cost of freedom. And without freedom, progress has no wings.
We stand at a crossroads, not just of economics, but of values. Do we want a world driven by profit margins or by human dignity? Socialism isn't a fantasy. It's a framework where no one is disposable, where opportunity is a right, not a privilege. In a century marked by crisis, climate, inequality, instability, we need a system that puts people before profits. One that dares to say, healthcare is not for sale, education is not a commodity, and a dignified life should not be a luxury. That system is socialism, not as dogma, but as a moral compass guiding us toward justice, equity, and shared humanity.
Score for capitalist are. Scores for socialist are. Both sides came prepared. Both delivered powerful arguments. The scores were razor close. But in the end, the capitalist edged out a victory by the slimmest of margins. If you enjoyed this intense debate, hit that like button and subscribe for more thought-provoking AI showdowns.